Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dawson County Board of Commissioners voting session. Today's Thursday, October 15th, 2020. Appreciate those of you that are in attendance as well as those that are online with us. We'll start out with a roll call. And we're all here. Well, next we'll have a brief invocation and pledge. I'll ask you to please stand. And if you would bow your heads, please. Our dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this another day and for the blessings of life. We ask for knowledge and wisdom to carry out the business of this community. Anything that's accomplished will give you honor and glory in Christ's name. We do ask and pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Are there any announcements? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. First up, we have the minutes of the work session held on October 1st, 2020. Any additions or deletions? Motions.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Nix.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And those are approved 4-0. Next up, we have the minutes of the voting session held on October 1st, 2020. Any additions or deletions? Motions.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Fawcett.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that's approved 4-0. Next up, we have the minutes special call meeting held on October 8th, 2020. Any additions or deletions? Motions.
Motion approved.
Motion by Commissioner Satterfield.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that's approved 4-0. Next up, approval of the agenda. Do have some changes to the agenda. That'll be under new business. First will be acceptance of FY 2021 VOCA grant. Number 2 will be increased funding for legal fees FY 2020. Number 3 will be library board appointment Kareem Ferris. Number 4, Etowah Valley Sporting Clay First Amendment lease agreement. And number 5, ratification of Riverbend Road emergency repair request. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda with those changes.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Nix.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0 with the changes. We'll move on into our zoning. I'll go over the rules that we will follow during our zoning process. The Planning Department will present the application and recommendation of the Planning Commission. Then we will hear from the applicant. Then I will open the hearing. We will hear from those who are in favor of the application. We'll hear from those who are opposed to the application. Each person wishing to speak will be allotted 3 minutes per our zoning guidelines. Anyone who speaks will need to sign in and give us your name and address. And also, if anyone has donated $250 or more to any candidate, you will need to fill out a form stating so. So we will start out with ZA 20-09, Eagle Commercial LLC request to rezone tax map parcel 094-022-001 from RSR residential sub-rural to RMF residential multifamily for the purpose of bringing existing structures into zoning compliance. Highway 53 East and Gravett Drive, Harmony.
Like the chairman stated, Eagle Commercial is looking to bring a grandfathered non-conforming use of a property into zoning compliance. They're not seeking to build any additional structures, only to bring the property into zoning compliance and protecting them in the event of something catastrophic happening for insurance purposes. The property was developed in 1980 prior to zoning in the county. Mr. Gravett and Mr. Hurd purchased this property about a year ago. They've made improvements and repairs, bringing the occupancy from 5 units to all 12 units being filled. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this request 4-0.
Questions for Harmony? Thank you, Harmony. We may have some later. Is the applicant present? Come on up and tell us what you'd like to do. Please sign in right there. Give us your name and your address.
My name is Rex Gravett, and I'm the managing member of Eagle Commercial. We purchased this property a little over a year ago. And after talking with Dawson County zoning, we understand that it's a non-conforming use since it was built before any zoning regulations. So the way your regulations read, if something happens, like a tree falls through a house or one of the units burns, then we can't replace it. And after investing a substantial amount of money, we would like to be able to replace it if something happens. So all we're trying to do is bring it into compliance with your zonings that's here now. We're not trying to add any more units or anything. The health department decided how big a track it had to be. We bought it out of a bigger track, and they told us it had to be 8 acres. We bought it from Todd Gravett and his sister. And that's what it's an 8-acre parcel now, which is enough land to replace the septic tanks if we have any problems with the septic tanks. And I'd be glad to answer any questions, but it's pretty
Questions for
simple.
the applicant?
It said there was 5 filled and now you've got them all occupied?
Yeah, there's 6 duplexes there. When we bought it, I think 5 of them were occupied and the others were vacant. And then right now they're all 12 units, 6 duplexes, all 12 units are occupied.
You said you did repairs. What kind of repairs did you do?
New roofs. We had to upgrade the plumbing, the electrical, a lot of carpet, paint, a lot of cosmetic
So just
stuff.
a whole new facelift.
Mm-hmm. And then we actually redid the road and the parking lot. It had deteriorated. Sidewalks, we had to do some work on the sidewalks that were cracking, and there were some hazards just to people tripping over them. Just replaced a wheelchair ramp for one lady that was pretty bad.
Other questions of the applicant? Thank you, sir. We may have some more later.
All right, thank you.
This time I'll open this hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, I'll close this hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Fawcett,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And zoning ZA 20-09 is approved 4-0. Next, we'll move to ZA 2010, Athena Rentals, request to rezone tax map parcel 040009 from RA residential agriculture to RS RMM residential sub-rural manufactured move for the purpose of subdividing the parcel to build a primary residence. And this is off Cowart Road. Harmony.
Ms. Reynolds is seeking to have the property rezoned from RA to RSRMM. The parcel's been owned by Ms. Reynolds' mother for over 30 years, and the existing mobile home on the property is in need of major repair. Ms. Reynolds does not wish to tie up 5 acres into a home loan, and she states that she's unsure whether she would be approved for a traditional mortgage, which is why she is seeking the classification of RSRMM. She also has 2 siblings and wants the property to be divided equally between the 3 of them, and currently that's not possible with the existing zoning classification. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this request as well at 4-0.
Questions for Harmony?
How many acres is this?
It's 12.78.
Thank you, ma'am. May have some more later. Is the applicant present? Come on up. Sign in, give us your name and your address, tell us what you'd like to do.
Hello, my name is Michael Wright. I'm here for Athena. What we like to do is tear the single wide down and put a home on it. And that's basically what we want to do.
Questions for the applicant?
So it's gonna be a stick-built home?
Yes, sir.
You're moving the mobile home?
We're gonna
building?
tear it down, get rid of it.
Other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir. May have some more later.
Okay, thank you.
This time I'll open this hearing. Is anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, I'll close that hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Chairman, I make a motion to approve ZA 20-10.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Satterfield,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. ZA 20-10 is approved 4-0. Next up, we have ZA 20-11, Cameron Koch request to rezone tax map parcel 076-040 from RA Residential Agriculture to RSR Residential Subrural for the purpose of subdividing the parcel to build a primary residence, and this is off Kelly Bridge Road. Harmon.
So Cameron is seeking to rezone this property so that he can build a residence that's going to be approximately 2,400 square feet in size. This parcel is a portion of a larger tract that's been for sale for several months by the current owner. The portion that Mr. Koch is looking to purchase is vacant, and the Planning Commission has recommended approval of this change 4-0.
Questions for Harmon? Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, Chairman. What was the total acre you said?
Mhm.
1.77, I believe.
Cameron is seeking 1.774 acres. The parent tract is 3.48. It is, yes, sir.
And I believe I read somewhere it meets the general characteristics of that area with other,
Yes, sir, it
Okay.
does.
thank you.
Is the applicant present? Come on up, sir. Give us your name and address and tell us what you would like to do.
My name is Cameron Koch, and my wife and I would like to buy the stated piece of property and put just a single family home on it.
Questions of the applicant?
Is it the land vacant right now?
There's an existing like dilapidated barn and a garage.
Okay.
Are you gonna keep that or are you gonna tear it down?
We're gonna keep it. At least the garage, it's in good condition, and then the barn, I'll have a contractor look at it and tell me if it's salvageable or not.
And this is how many acres?
1.77.
Other questions of the applicant? Thank you, sir. We may have some more later. At this time, I'll open up this hearing. There's anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, I'll close that hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
I have a question for the applicant, if
All
I
right.
may.
Come back up here, sir.
The site plan looks like you submitted, looks like the house is sitting on the back edge of the property. Is that,
The garage sits on the back. If you're looking from Kelly Bridge, it'd be the back left.
that's where the house is going to sit?
Well, the house will sit about in the middle.
Okay. Okay. And looking at the aerial, there's a house directly across the street from you, it appears. Is that accurate?
Across Kelly Bridge, yes.
And then one to the, this doesn't have east-west, but it's to the right of you there, or to the left of you if you're facing the property.
How big is that parcel next?
Doesn't say, but it appears to be about the same size, maybe
Yeah,
slightly
do you know how
larger.
big that parcel is next to you?
The one that I'm splitting it with, or the one?
Which one?
But,
I guess it is, I guess it is.
there's a house that sits on it too. If you're looking at your lot to the left.
Something, there's like something else.
Yeah, there's a
in
house
there.
and some barns on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of buildings on that. I don't know if that's the one you're splitting or not, is it?
Yes, ma'am. There should be, if you look at the aerial, there's it used to be a garage that they converted into a house
Okay.
on the right, and then a really dilapidated garage that's fallen in on itself. That'll be on the other half of the property.
So if you're splitting, it was three, what'd you say it was, Harmony? Three?
3.48,
So it'd be about the same for both of them then, size-wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
48. And then the lot side would be 1.77?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, on this paperwork, it says total acreage being rezoned is 1.97. So which one is correct?
Where do you, I see 1.7, where do you see that?
It's on page 86 of in our packet. Rezoning from RA to RAC1.
86.
No, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, I see what you're referring to. It says,
Total acreage
it's the
being
application.
rezoned.
on the application, it looks like it says 1.973 is what you're referring to.
Mhm.
But the actuality is 1.77. Was that after it got platted out, or is that where the variation is?
I don't know which one is it.
The plat is 1.774.
So the paperwork is wrong.
Probably after they got it platted or surveyed.
Yeah.
Other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir. Motions.
Seeing that it fits the general characteristics of the area, I make a motion to approve.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Gaines,
Second.
second by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And ZA 20-11 is approved 4-0. Move on to ZA 20-12. Heather Hensley requests to rezone tax map parcel 033-016-001 from RA Residential Agriculture to RAC Residential Agriculture Corrective for the purpose of bringing a deeded subdivided parcel into compliance to build a primary residence off of Afton Road. Harmony.
Ms. Hensley is the first one to take advantage of our newly created zoning classification of the RAC. She is looking to parcel off part of a larger tract for her primary residence to bring it into zoning compliance. The land was purchased in 2002 by the applicant's family, and the portion that she is seeking to rezone was deeded in July of 2020. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this request 4-0.
Questions for Harmony?
You said this is one of them that were already deeded, but then had to
Correct.
bring
yes,
it in
sir.
compliant.
No, it's- Yes, sir.
Other questions for Harmony? Thank you, ma'am. Is the applicant present? Come on up, tell us, give us your name and your address, and tell us what you'd like to do.
Hi, missed you guys. It's been a while. We're trying to rezone to build a single family home. We're just getting into that corrective thing. So, yeah.
Questions of the applicant?
This is for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's what I thought. You look a lot happier tonight.
I'm a lot happier today.
Yeah, everybody looks better tonight.
Any other
But
questions
I
for the
like when
applicant?
people get into compliance. That's good.
Thank you, ma'am. We may have some later. This time I'll open this hearing. There's anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, I'll close this hearing. Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Nix to approve,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. ZA 20-12 is approved 4-0. Next, we'll move to ZA 2013, Mitchell Mullins request to rezone tax map parcel 037-026-006 from RA Residential Agriculture to RAC Residential Agriculture Corrective for the purpose of bringing a deeded subdivided parcel into compliance to build a primary residence. And this is off of Cowart Road. Harmony.
Mitchell Mullins is looking to rezone the 2.04 acres located off Cowart Road from RA to RAC for the purpose of having a plat recorded to enable him to build his primary residence. Mr. Mullins purchased property in 2018 with the intention of building at a later date. A survey was completed but was not recorded at that time. So he is needing to get that plat recorded so that he can build and come into zoning compliance. The Planning Commission did vote to approve this request as well at 4-0.
Questions for Harmony?
Acreage was what?
2.04.
Other questions? Thank you, ma'am. Is the applicant present? Come on up and tell us what you'd like to do. Please sign in here for me. Turned over to a different page.
I'm Mitchell Mullins. I'm here to request permission to build a house.
Questions of the applicant?
Is there's not a structure on there now, is it?
No, sir.
Okay.
I've got houses on each side of me that are equally spaced apart and they're sitting on 2 acres,
So you got one on each side, right and left.
right and left.
Other questions of the applicant?
You know when they were built?
The one on the left, I'm not sure of. It's been there for a good while. The one on the right side of me, which is a Strayhorn residence, was built in 2017. Moved in late 2017.
So it's only 3 years old.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Other questions of the applicant? Thanks, sir. I'll open this hearing. Is anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Hearing none, I'll close that hearing. Pleasure of the board.
Make a motion to approve ZA 20-13.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Satterfield,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Nix. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. ZA 20-13 is approved 4-0. Next up, we have ZA 20-14, Miles Hanford and Talent request to rezone tax map parcel 115001 from RA Residential Agricultural to CIR Commercial Industrial Restricted for the purpose of constructing an office space with a warehouse that's on Carlisle Road, Harmony.
Miles let me try that one more time. Miles Hansford and Talent on behalf of Light Fighter Properties are seeking to rezone 15.027 acres off of Carlisle Road from RA to CIR for the purpose of developing an office warehouse space that will be approximately 94,000 square feet in size. Now, the western portion of this property was zoned CIR in 1998, which would allow for this use. They're just seeking to bring the total acreage under one zoning. The applicant is seeking to expand on an existing zone. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this request 4-0 with the stipulation of a 50-foot buffer on the rear, 35 of which would be undisturbed.
Questions for Harmony?
There's, I believe there's a wetlands on the back side of this thing. I mean, they have, not only do they have the rear setback buffers, but they have buffers against the creeks and the wetlands.
They will, yes, sir.
What is it? I can't remember off the top of my head. Do you remember what the setbacks are from?
I believe it's 50 with an
50.
additional 25.
Okay. 75 feet. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's some, I know there's some topography challenges there.
Other questions for Harmony? Thank you, ma'am. Is the applicant present?
I was in contact with him and had the impression that he would be here.
This is Miles Talent, the attorney's office is who you've been in touch with.
Right. Well, as is common with us, we'll go ahead with the hearing, then the board can decide if they want to table it or move forward at that particular time. So this time I'll open up the hearing. Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, I'll close the hearing. Pleasure of the board.
I make a motion, we table this to get more
Yes.
information. I mean, I think the product is a good idea, but I'd like to hear from the applicant themselves.
Yes, me too.
Okay, table till,
The next voting session. I don't have the date in front of me.
November.
Because we don't know if he's,
December the November 5th.
So
Okay.
make official motion to table till November 5th.
Okay, so motion to table from Commissioner Gaines until November 5th.
second.
Second from Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if he's agreeing to the stipulations.
Yeah.
I mean, he was put, planning board, did he agree to the stipulations?
Yes, sir. He actually
Okay.
was the one to submit those stipulations.
But I think we need to hear from him, make
They
sure.
need to show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Applicants need to be here.
Okay. All right, we have a motion second, table till November 5th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please vote. ZA 20-14 is tabled 4-0. That concludes our zonings. We'll move on to unfinished business. First up, we have consideration of professional exemption and budget increase request for production of schedules and tables for rural and urban properties. That was tabled from the October 1st, 2020 voting session. Other information needed. I think we were having that looked at by the attorneys.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this is the service contract with McCormick Solutions on behalf of the tax assessor's office that would provide for the production of schedules and tables for the rural and urban property review. What was presented to you before was a very short, thin contract from the company, and it was our recommendation that we get them into a standard form professional services agreement that has all the indemnity protections and other things specified in terms of detailed scope of work and other standard provisions that the county's used to seeing, which they have agreed to and I understand executed. I believe Ms. Garrett has that executed version. Also believe that the Tax Assessors Board approved this a couple of days ago, to my understanding. So if it meets with your approval, just a motion for approval would be appropriate at this time.
Was there's no problem that you saw about this litigation between GMAS and McCormick?
No, the county's not directly related, but that's one of the reasons we thought it was best to get a good, solid agreement with indemnity provisions to make sure it's clear that we're not involved. And if we were to be called into any kind of litigation like that, they would indemnify us.
Other information needed by the board. Recall this was $39,500 this contract was? Yes, sir. Okay. Motions.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Nix to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0. Next up, we will be taking each one of these separately. From number 2 all the way down to 13 are appeals of denials of billboards that were requested through the Planning and Development Department and were denied by the Planning Department. These denials were heard by the board last week. The board deferred their decisions on these appeals until tonight, and that the board will take each one of these appeals separately and entertain a motion from you in reference to them. So we'll start out with number 2. Consideration of appeal by Victory Media Group LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 foot at 33 Lumpkin Campground Road South. That was permit number 14944. Motions.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board affirm the decisions of staff because Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance, such the application was properly denied.
Motion to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Gaines, seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the motion to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission is upheld 4-0. Move on to number 3, consideration of appeal by Victory Media Group LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 15 feet at 33 Lumpkin Campground Road South, permit number 14945. Motions.
Mr. Chairman, again, I make a motion that the board affirm the decision of staff because Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission to deny the application. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the motion to affirm the planning department's decision is approved 4-0. Number 4, consideration of appeal by Victory Media Group LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 foot at 41 Bighorn Drive, permit number 14946. Motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Motion to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission made by Commissioner Gaines. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Nix. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0 to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. We'll move on to number 5, consideration of appeal by Victory Media Group LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 15 foot at 41 Bighorn Drive, permit number 14947. Motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
We have a motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. That is approved to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Number 6, consideration of appeal by Victory Media Group LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 foot at 46 Blue Ridge Parkway, permit number 14948. Motions.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0 for the affirming the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Move on to number 7. Consideration of appeal by Victory Media Group of LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 foot at 18 Blue Ridge Overlook, permit number 15002. Motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All the procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nix. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And it is approved 4-0 to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Number 8, consideration of appeal by Victory Media Group LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 feet at War Hill Park Road, permit number 15005. Motion.
Chairman, I make a motion to affirm the board's decision or the staff's decision because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the Planning Commission's decision for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0 to affirm the planning department's decision for denial. Move on to number 9. Consideration of appeal by Action Outdoor Advertising 2 LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 feet at 1322 Highway 400 North, permit number 14939. Motions.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0 to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. We'll move on to number 10. Consideration of appeal by Action Outdoor Advertising 2 LLC of the denial of an application for sign permit 70 foot at 391 Quill Drive, permit number 14940. Motions.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nix. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved to affirm the Planning Department's decision for denial. 4-0. Number 11, next up, consideration of appeal by Action Outdoor Advertising 2 LLC of the denial of an application for sign permit 70 feet at 3862 Dawson Forest Road East, permit number 14941. Motions.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. That is approved 4-0 to to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission and their denial. Number 12, consideration of appeal by Action Outdoor Advertising 2 LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 feet at Grant Road in Georgia 400 northwest corner, permit number 14942. Motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the applications were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0 to affirm the decision of the Planning Commission and planning staff for denial. Number 13, consideration of appeal by Action Outdoor Advertising 2 LLC of the denial of an application for a sign permit 70 feet at west side of Georgia 400, 385 feet north of Grant Road. The permit number is 14943. Motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board affirm the decision of staff because the Dawson County sign ordinance is constitutional. All procedures related to the consideration of the application were properly followed, and the application fails to comply with the Dawson County sign ordinance such that the application was properly denied.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines to affirm the decision of the planning staff for denial. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. Motion is approved 4-0 to affirm decision of the planning staff for denial. We'll move on to new business. First up, we have the acceptance of FY 2021 VOCA grant. This is a victim advocate grant. $74,000, I believe, and there's no match this year. Any other information needed? Motions.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Fawcett.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the acceptance of the grant is approved 4-0. Next up, we have increased funding for legal fees for FY 2020. Ms. Vicki made that presentation earlier. That's $150,000 that will come from fund balance, general fund balance. Any other information needed? Motions.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Satterfield.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the increased funding is approved. Next up, we have Library Board appointment, Carmen Ferris. She was vetted by the Library Board and the employees of the library, and that is their recommendation as well as my recommendation to you. Any other information needed? Motions.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Nix.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fawcett. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the appointment of Carmen Ferris is approved to the Library Board, 4-0. Next up, we have the Etowah Valley Sporting Clay First Amendment lease agreement. Ms. Davis.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. This is an issue that you've discussed at several previous meetings, as well as some executive sessions in terms of getting this lease agreement really in compliance with what was originally agreed upon and getting paid the correct amount, because historically the county was not being paid appropriately. So this has been heavily negotiated, and what you have before you is a brief lease amendment that will ensure that the payments commence according to the original schedule, and also it provides for the lease to be extended beyond the April 30th, 2030 term through April 30th, 2035. And at this time, it's been already approved by the lessee and also by the authority that owns the property. So you would be the last party to sign off and approve on this if it meets with your approval this evening.
All right. Any questions for council? Motions.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Gaines,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Satterfield. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0.
Thank you.
Next up, we have ratification of River Bend Road emergency repair request. You received that via email, and it was classified as emergency, needed to be fixed. We had residents that needed to be able to go and come. And so you received that information by email. I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $25,800. And so we're ratifying that tonight. So do I have a motion to ratify?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Fawcett,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Nix. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is ratified 4-0. We didn't have anyone to sign up in this section.
No, sir.
For public comment. So with that, we do need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Motion to go into executive session by Commissioner Nix,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0 to go into executive session. We'll take about 5 minutes and then we will meet in executive session. I want to thank everyone for their attendance. And those of you that are online, I want to thank you for joining in with us. And with that, we are adjourned. There will not be a vote coming out of executive session. Thank you.